eti for mama kwaba edeba beto news TV so say unsubscribe ya be subscribe no like no share afin so comment section ho modia be comment amaye ye hwe maye na wotwe a etwa mu yi na demonstration bi koso na emfo bi na omudi animu akan semfo bi afa demonstration no ene amemo ya ekoso yi tiefo momientie inchiremu a NDC mpanyinfo bi tse Oliver ene Domeluvo ekan efa amemo yi ho afei nso biem no ewo anyuntufo bi a na omonso wo mu a omonso kire o ma adwen tse nua Stone Boy ene nua Dumelo a oyimo bi momientie asemu inchiremu ene de omokafa amemo yi ho
against public officials. Is that too much to ask? No. Is that too much to ask? We have educational materials. We're coming to learn about the 1992 Constitution, about your rights under the Constitution, about the efforts of the founding generation to bring us closer to freedom. We cannot let any single individual jeopardize that freedom. Now you and I are here today. We are not fighting for ourselves. The fight that we are doing, what we are doing today, that is what our fathers should have done for us. You and I, it's long gone, but we are showing up for tomorrow's generation. That they will live in dignity, that they would have freedom, that they would be living, receive the blessings of prosperity. This is why we are here today. So show up as you are here, engage with each other, find out about each other, learn from each other, build solidarity, because we have no one but ourselves. We have no one but ourselves. And today we are showing history, and we are making history together. We are showing that even when the voices of violence are loud, we will still show up because this is our democracy. Choboy.
Corruption. We are demonstrating against the corruption of President Akufo Addo and his government. You see the money is sitting at the Paris house. You see, that's just a tip of the iceberg. That's why we are here to demonstrate against the corruption. That's why we are saying, look, OSP has to search all the ministers. OSP must search all the ministers and President Akufo Addo because what is happening at the Paris house is just a tip of the iceberg. We can't take it anymore. Look, some people live on 24 Ghana cedis a day. About 3 million Ghanaians live on 24 Ghana cedis a day. That is too low. How much can 24 Ghana cedis buy? What can it buy? Yet that is the UN standard. It says that about 11% of Ghanaians live on less than $1.90. If you convert $1.90, I've used a generous conversion rate. That's why I put it at 24 Ghana cedis. So we want that corruption to stop. We want that corruption to stop. The corruption must stop. And the best way to stop it is that President Akufo Addo and Bawumia must resign. Under the Constitution, Article 60, Clause 13, when the President and the Vice resign, the Constitution says that we should have fresh elections within 3 months. Within 3 months. So you see that our Constitution in Article 60 makes provision for early elections.
It is never an easy way to freedom. You know, to speak to power, you have to face it. And I think that is the downside of it. I don't want them to see that as me. I believe that that is the sacrifice that we all have to go through. Even if now the police raids on us and begins to lash out, of course we're going to run for our lives, first and foremost. But that is a sacrifice that we have to know, that nothing comes on a silver platter for you to actually speak out. The Kwame Nkrumah sacrifice for us. The Yasantua sacrifice for us. The many General Atipos and the rest that we read about in our history books, the sacrifice for us. The least some of us can do is to continue to add our voices, our presence, our resources, if maybe to be able to add.
Their children matter. The future of their children matter. They matter. So they should come out here and support us because, Chale, Ghana is not just for me, it's not just for you, it's for all of us. And if Ghana gets better, it's better for our future and the generation that comes after us.
We need change. Things need to be right. We need to make sure that things are going right. The corruption is too much. The arrogance is too much. So many things are going wrong. And we need the right things to be done.
When Afsha is offering us $1 million, they offered us a committee, to set up a committee and appoint us to government positions in order to stop this activism. This was made directly to me and other leaders of Fix the Country. This will be refused. Now, this conversation was had at the time with the National Minister of National Security, the Minister of Finance, and a Brigadier General of the Ghana Armed Forces at the Safe House at cantonment. These are information that are verifiable. We recorded that conversation. If people recall,
do you say those are the people who are making the offer?
The people who made the offer on that day. If people will recall, when I came out of jail, I had made an announcement that I was going to disclose the details as a secret meeting that had taken place and some of the things that were said to us. And later I had received several calls from people in this country and refused to disclose those. This information is not something I'm lying about. I can release to you information and calls that the Minister of National Security himself called me while I was in the UK, inviting me to come down to Ghana and at public expense. And I rejected it and paid for my own ticket and flew down to Ghana. And so for me, I know and I've always known that, and there's nothing that I'm saying here that will surprise anybody or shock anybody, that we know that they have taken every kind of attempt through monetary compulsions, through violence in order to stop what we are doing. But we'll continue to build. And we are demanding that if citizens really cherish this democracy and are interested in the future of this country,
that corruption plays in our society. Just go to our hospitals and you will see the poor level of service delivery and the low bed syndrome. My younger sister died 2 years ago because Kolebu could not find a bed for her for 5 days. And finally she has to die. That is the extent to which corruption is eating us as a people. And we are looking on. Let's fight. We are not angry enough. At independence, Ghana was started as ahead of Singapore and Malaysia, etc. Go there and now and see. You will regret it as a Ghanaian. This Bismarck performance are celebrated by our shameless leaders. They want us to hail them for this mediocre performance. I don't think we can accept this. And want the leadership of this country. That if you push us to the wall, you see the animal in us, then you can do anything. And you can be sure that you will get away with it. But if we do that, then no one is safe, isn't it? Because once I'm taking my enemy to, my enemies are also taking me to the place. So we all have to be careful. So I call for commercialization of the fight against corruption. We should amend the law just as we were able to amend Article 88 to get OSP out of it. The same way we should also do and get individuals the authority to be able to, maybe they may go through some recognition like licensing or registration, and they can set up a committee or a team or a firm that will investigate corruption, so that immediately the Auditor General comes out with his report, they start going through, and then they list their candidates, investigate, and then go and collect the money. They will make something for themselves. However, a greater...
Eventually, we should have competitive pricing of energy for industry. We've managed to establish a trade house now in Kenya, and we are working towards getting Ghanaian goods there. But others are also consistently and constantly coming to our territory and looking for opportunities. So we need to all work at it. But again, the underlying factor is about competitiveness. If you are not competitive, you sit in your own market, people will bring goods here, their goods will be much cheaper, and they will take away your market. And as I said, a major factor for determining the cost of production is energy. So we must get energy cost to the barest possible minimum. In Ghana, we've seen some improvement, honestly. And here I must commend, I know PRC is not here, but I'll commend them, that if you look at the last tariff in September last year, special recognition was given to industry.
We have also added 50 megawatts of ground-mounted solar installation, plus another 5 megawatts floating solar, which probably is the largest in the ECOWAS region. They have the potential to do 250 megawatts within that enclave, and as a ministry, we fully support this as part of our march towards energy transition and also to make energy affordable.